Like, that's how I do what I do. When I see somebody doing something that's trying to pursue, action creates reaction.
People major in minor things.
Oh, let that marinate for a second.
Like, so when he said that, I was like, oh, wait.
I'm gonna bring up right now to the stage a couple of guys that I got wind of pretty recently. I think it was maybe John Henry that was actually posting something not too long ago. I bumped into them. I've been listening to their podcast ever since. I got my own podcast, Wake Up and Level Up, so you know I'm all about podcasts. So I wanna bring up the two guys that run the most phenomenal podcast that's gonna really hook your game up on your finances, Earn Your Leisure. Let's bring them up right now. We got financial advisor Rashad, Bilal, and educator Troy Millings coming to the stage. What's up, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you both. I know y'all know how to hold a mic, so I'll let y'all do that. And we can have you come up just a little bit, although you're so tall. Can y'all switch? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I really love reading about your background. Look, I just met them, so that's why you saw me on the phone. I literally am that hype about them. You can tell them. Didn't I just DM you like 2 days ago?
2 days ago, that's a fact.
Yeah, I was like, I really just got wind of y'all. I'm a fan. Can y'all come by the show? Like, that's how I do what I do. When I see somebody doing something that's trying to pursue, and that's why I love having you here, because I want to know more about what you all are doing. So real quick, tell us Earn Your Leisure podcast. What's it about and why you started it?
Earn Your Leisure podcast is a financial literacy podcast. We cover a broad range of different business topics. And we started it. Troy, you want to come?
Yeah, so it started pretty much in a summer program that we were running. And as an educator, I know there are things that are not being taught in school. And so during this summer program, like, I need to add these things. And one of the things we were talking about was financial literacy. And at the time, Rashad was starting his financial advising career. So I'm like, look, I need you to come in. I need you to teach financial literacy to these high school students. And from there, it sprung into a whole career of him doing this on Instagram. And he did a podcast for somebody else, and they were like, listen, where can I find the rest of that episode? Wow. And that led him to saying, look, you want to do a podcast like one day in my basement? And we were like, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
See what I'm saying? In my basement? All right, but really, the moral of this story right here for me, not only is it rooted in great intent, because you started from a problem that you were trying to solve, that you had a skill set to bring, and you're bringing information to people in a way that normally we don't talk about money in the exact same way that y'all talk about it, and that's why it's really connecting and reaching people. So that's number one. Number two, action creates reaction. The fact that you took the action was like, yeah, I'll do it, and then the next thing you know, someone hears you on a podcast, and then you're like, well, wait, hold on, we could do our own, and now where you are today. So I really commend you all for taking the steps, because the proof is when you take a step, something else happens in your benefit. So tell me, what is maybe a favorite episode on Earn Your Leisure, and what was something that people learned that they may not have learned before?
Yeah, that's a tough question, because there's so many great episodes that I personally like, but we had a restaurant owner from Baltimore.
That's my hometown. Shout out B-More. What's up, Angie from B-More? What's up?
Yeah, and one of the things about Earn Your Leisure is that, you know, we've had guests that went to Warren School of Business, and we have guests that were formerly incarcerated. And he's a real good story, because he was formerly incarcerated, I think like 10 years, and he came home, and he's brilliant, like one of the smartest people that you'll ever meet. And he just broke down his whole business model of how he's making like $1 million a year from a restaurant and food trucks, and just for him to break down the numbers like that, and it really gives inspiration and hope that a lot of times people feel like business is over their head, it's too complicated, or if they don't have the Ivy League education, they can't do it, and it's not true. And I really like that episode, because he really gave a lot of hope, I think, to people that may have, you know, made some mistakes in the past, but that doesn't determine your future.
Right. Powerful.
There was one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
We shared the same favorite episode, and he said that people major in minor things.
Oh, let that marinate for a second.
Like, so when he said that, I was like, oh, wait. And that's the beauty of it, too. Like, every time we do an episode, we learn. So when he said that, I just had to sit with it, like, whoa, that's heavy. And it was so right. Like, we worry about so minute things that we forget the big picture. So yeah, we share in that as that being our favorite episode.
If there's one quick financial tip that you would share with someone that's seeing you all for the first time, is there some kind of general piece of advice or something that you kind of share to kind of get them in the right mindset about their finances?
Yeah, I always tell people that education is extremely important. And a lot of times people feel that education, they have a stigma that education can only be achieved through school. but it's not true. And I think our podcast is a perfect example of that. That education can be consumed anywhere, whether it's a podcast, Google, YouTube. And I feel like knowledge is power. It's a little cliche,
Yeah,
but it's true. And I think that stops people from investing in real estate and stops people from investing in the stock market. They're not knowledgeable and they don't feel comfortable and they're not confident.
Right.
So I see that a lot. So the first tip that I always give people when it comes to finances is to educate yourself. And it'll open up so many doors for you. And then once you're properly educated, you know, you'll be able to make money.
Yeah.
But if you're not educated and you have money, you'll lose it.
That's why I like listening to you guys and I like listening to John Henry, because he breaks it down. Like, you guys are actually being super transparent and showing people like how this works, how you can make it happen, whether it's through stories or through yourself or through the guests that you guys have. You're actually giving people the roadmap. So to your point, education can happen in so many ways, whether it's on this channel on YouTube, whether it's on your podcast. Education is available in so many ways. You just gotta want to actually do it. And I think money is more of a mindset thing than it's actually like a pocket thing. It's more like, do you really want to do something? Do you believe you can do it? And are you willing to make the sacrifices? Are you willing to actually study what you need to study to then actually go and do what it is you want to make happen? What's one quick takeaway from another episode that maybe you want to share, or just a guest that you had on another one real quick?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up John Henry, so another thing that he said was that in order for us to aspire to be things, we have to see them. Right? So if we can't see it, sometimes it's tough for us to aspire to be it. That's why we like to bring in a lot of guests from different backgrounds, so our community and other communities can see, like, listen, we can be more than athletes, we can be more than entertainers, we can do anything, right? And these are the people that are doing them. So now that you've seen them, they look like you, they sound like you, they talk like you, they listen to the music you listen to.
Yeah, right?
There's nothing stopping you. You can be it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things that he said.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Henry. Just one. I really like John Henry a lot, and his story is motivational for anybody that doesn't know. He used to be a doorman.
Right.
And,
Absolutely.
And now he's 26 and he is on top of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the same people that he used to doorman for, they're his peers now.
Yeah. Right.
So it just goes to show you that things can turn around very quickly for you.
Yeah, he took a dry cleaning business, man. Made that. His story is phenomenal. So shouts out to John Henry, and shouts out to you, John, because really through you is how I found out about the podcast, and that's how it works.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's how it works.
Sure.
So I really appreciate you all coming and spending some time with me. I want you all to make sure, Troy and Rashad, make sure you follow them on Instagram, Earn Your Leisure. Make sure you check out their podcast, absorb that content, share it out, give everybody a chance to listen to this thing. These guys are doing something really unique and different, and I really support and salute you guys. So keep doing it. All right? Never settle, fam. Never settle, never settle. Appreciate it.